navigating those asteroid belts. Besides, who cares? When can we make contact?
Before we make contact, we should go over some basic facts as to not offend a human.
We need to bring in a human who knows the local customs.
Honey, you know how they get.
I'll pick a good one this time.
That's what you said last time.
It's all right. I already have one picked out. This guy seems perfect. He has a website dedicated to government secrets. In fact, he already seems to know we're coming. Says the government's known for years. Clearly, he's an expert.
Okay, let's just get it over with.
Welcome, Earthling.
For God's sake, we're not gonna hurt you. We just have a few questions about your
No, I was right. I know it.
We require your expertise on human culture and government.
Special expertise.
We read your website.
Who is in charge of your Earth?
You want me to take you to our leader?
No, we merely wish to comprehend the functionality of your political system.
I'm fighting. In America, where I'm from, we have a president that's voted by the people.
This custom is unfamiliar to us.
The United States of America is divided into 50 sections called states. In our government, each state is represented by 2 senators who are members of the Senate and several representatives who are part of the House of Representatives. Together, these people make up Congress. Each state receives the same amount of points as your representatives. Hold on, is that a space cow?
Focus human.
Sorry. Anyway, each state holds on an election every 4 years, and the people vote for the candidate that they think will make the best president. Whichever candidate wins the popular vote in that state is supposed to receive all the state's points. A state's point value decides how many electors they are allowed to have. An elector is chosen by the candidate's political party. The electors travel to the capital, and each one casts their vote for the presidential candidate.
The system is strange.
It's not perfect, but it ensures the voices of the smaller states are heard as well.
You mentioned political parties? What are these?
Human beings tend to gravitate towards those similar to them. When it comes to governmental beliefs, people tend to feel very strongly about them. They group in political parties in order to increase the chance of the candidate they agree with being elected. In America, our main political parties are the Democrats or the Republicans. Democrats are considered more liberal, and Republicans are more conservative.
What specific powers and roles does the president possess?
Well, first, he possesses the role of chief of state. He also has the job of being chief executive. This position gives the president the job and power to run the government. He makes sure that laws are invoked into the country. He appoints important officials. He grants reprise and pardons, issues executive orders, and coordinates the efforts of many different departments and agencies. He confers with a cabinet of 13 government officials and the White House executive office staff.
Is he the only executive that has the power to say if laws go through or not?
Well, no. He has the power to veto the law, but if the Senate decides they like it, 2/3 vote makes the law approved. The president also takes on the job as commander-in-chief. In this position, he is head of all military forces and is responsible for raising, training, supervising, and deploying all of the defense forces. He reviews the troops and gives awards and medals to them. The president meets with military officers as well as civilian national security advisors.
So he determines on whether or not you go to war and is in charge of all of your military?
Yes, I think you're starting to understand what the president is all about. He does do both of those things, but those are not the only roles he possesses. He gets to be what is called the chief diplomat. Here, he possesses being the leader, initiator, and guide of our foreign policy. He meets and consults with leaders of foreign countries, performs ceremonial duties with foreign leaders, and makes decisions for our countries affecting our foreign affairs. Some of the duties he appoints are the ambassador to the United Nations, who speaks for the United States. He negotiates treaties or arguments with other countries, and finally he travels to other countries around the world where his words reflect the United States' position and ideas on foreign affairs.
Wow! So the president gets to travel the solar system's world, talking to different executives from other countries?
He sure does. He gets to resolve problems and make treaties so we can be friends with different countries.
But I just don't get it. Why only one person in charge? Surely you Americans considered alternative systems.
We did, back when the Constitution was first written. 2 of the founders of America, John Calhoun and Ben Franklin, believed in a multi-person executive would be much more suiting for America. They don't usually mention that Franklin was against the system, since he's a founding father, and if the people knew he was opposed to the system, they wouldn't be so willing to follow it blindly. But it's true. He favored putting 3 people in charge. one for each region, but in the end it was shut down because people were too worried that there would be fighting within the government and we'd end up like the French.
But what is wrong with these French?
Oh, they had super unsuccessful government called the Directory, where 5 people were voted to be in charge. Even though it was a republic like the people had wanted, the voting was confusing and everyone thought that the entire system was very limited. Unpopular, boring, simple, so it only lasted for 4 years. Still, that's besides the point. John Calhoun also disagreed, saying that we needed 2 executives in order to maintain the balance that was intended by Constitution. So despite the opposition, a single executive won out. And that's what we have today.
And no one questions the system?
What? Of course we do. Heck, just recently I read this paper on why 2 executives would be better than 1. The author proposed a new system to introduce bipartisan executive. The article talked a lot about how the president is much more powerful than originally intended. And he constantly oversteps his bounds, so he either needs more rigid restrictions or a way to balance his power.
Fascinating. Perhaps when you finally take us to your leader, we can impart our wisdom on how to achieve this balance.
Right. So I wish you luck. They'll probably just lock you up in Area 51 and test on you like your inanimate objects.
Area what now?
It's this top secret facility out in the west. They say a spaceship crashed there and they created the entire place around it.
Oh no.
You idiot! I told you that leaving it there would attract attention. We're going home.
What? I don't even have any pictures yet!
Home. Now.
Fine. I'll go set the course.
Wait, can you drop me off first?
Oh no, we need to take you home to run some